Ladies and gentlemen, the Matrix is a system, and that system is I'm here in downtown Fort Lauderdale. We're going to go into a little bit more. Give me another 5 minutes because, I got a lot of response on that last video, and I thought I'd share some more of just my thoughts. And again, it's not financial advice, it's just what I see as a trend. At this time, in the US, $150,000 a year is middle class. If you're not making $150,000 a year, you're falling behind. And I think that's actually going to be the situation very soon as more and more people fall behind. I mean, right now, I paid $5 to park for 1 hour in this parking lot. And they charged me taxes, $5.35. And I'm like, I'm going to a government office here, the appraisal district office, and there's no other place to park. So you may be overpriced wherever you're at to live. And that's another reason why some people are asking me, well, how is it in Mexico? Well, two things. One, it's a lot less expensive and you get a lot better quality of life. Now, some of you may say, well, yeah, but it's not really first world. Yes, it is first world. Go see it. You're just not going to the right areas. You might actually just be by the beach and look at all the hotel zones, but go into Merida, go into Mexico City, go into a lot of places, and you're going to see that a lot of the propaganda is not real. And I suggest for those considering moving out of the country, that's a great idea. Why? Because at one time, somebody in your family legacy decided that wherever they were from, unless you're a Native American, of course, that they were going to find a better place to live. And that better place was the US. Now, whatever was happening in their other place that they were living was getting bad. And they decided it's time to make a decision. And my recommendation to most of my friends is take that in and actually consider it for yourself. Because not only do you live a better quality of life, you get to do more things, right? If you're not doing the 9 to 5 and if you're not trying to get 2 jobs so that you can keep up in the US, well, imagine that extra time and what you would do with it. And most of my friends in the US, even the ones that have a lot of money, are struggling at this time because you can't keep up with the property tax, the cost of car insurance, the cost of... I have a friend of mine who is a waiter, and he's saying that the people are coming into the restaurant, they're buying one dish and they're splitting it between 2 people and ordering water. That's how intense it's getting. And if you didn't know this, the highest credit card debt is right now. But of course, that's because you're following your leaders, right? The highest national debt is right now $38 trillion, and it's speculated that it's going to go trillion dollars up, not any more billion dollars up, because they can't keep up with all the money printing that they did the last 5 years. And if you're asking me what I think, well, let me tell you about a board game that my family and I used to play when I was a little kid, before all the great Nintendo. I don't even play Nintendo anymore. Heck, I don't play video games, and you can tell. So in any case, board games, Monopoly. My family would get around and we play the game of Monopoly. And in Monopoly, when you get to the end, everybody that has bought property, it's a real estate game just in case you don't know, has a hotel. And if you land on that hotel and it's not yours, you could get wiped out. Well, that's what's happening in the US at this time. The assets have been given to the people with the money, right? And they're in control. And at this point, if you land on somebody's hotel, it could be a situation of property tax, it could be a hospital bill, it could be an assortment of things. Well, that could wipe you out. And what I'm offering for you to think about is maybe adjusting. And yes, if you move out of the country, it will be an adjustment, but it might be a better adjustment. So consider that. If you're not going to move out of the country and you're going to stay, and I think I made a very similar video 5 years ago about this, if you're going to stay, be ready, because we are in a depressionary cycle, and that depressionary cycle will kick in, and we've never lived through depressions unless you're 100 years old at least. you're not experienced to what can happen and how people act, and that's the problem. It's not just that a lot of people won't have a lot of extra money to spend, it's how do people act that become desperate. And you don't want to be in that situation where there's a lot of crime or there's a lot of tension because people are struggling, and that's what does happen. And I hate to say it, but we're a very entitled nation here in the US. And we feel that we're owed something. I don't feel like I'm owed something. I'll take responsibility of my own life, but many people do. And when they find out that Social Security is not going to pay enough to keep you alive in the society that becomes very expensive, or technology now with AI has taken your job, you're going to have a lot of upset people. You're going to have a lot of people in poverty and a lot of people that are upset because, as I've mentioned before, the middle class gets wiped out at the end of the Monopoly game, and that's what's happening. So if you haven't positioned yet, I would suggest you do that, only because, yeah, you could have a whole lot of money at this time, but the cost of living will take big chunks of it. And why would you want to just have to work and work and work and work your life away? There's got to be a time where there's a little bit of balance. And in the US, we're taught to have hustle mentality, and that's what you're supposed to do, and you work till you're 65 till you really can't do that much at 65 health-wise to enjoy your life. Hopefully technology catches up. I've been posting a lot of stuff, and in Mexico there's a lot of cutting-edge health-orientated things happening that aren't even happening in the US at this time. But let's just say, for the most part, if you get to a point in your life where you can't use your body because you've just basically worked yourself out to death, then what use was it? So I'm just suggesting to you, be ready. We are in a depressionary cycle. I know that sounds really extreme, but you can just look at it. Just look at the amount of bankruptcies, the amount of businesses going out of business, the amount of things that are happening, the cost of living, the increase of taxes. And you know, when people are desperate, it's one thing, but when governments are desperate, taxes go through the roof. And you know what they always say? They should tax the rich more. But you know what they never say? They should let the middle class keep their tax money. Imagine how much gets out or is taken out of your check. Let you, or the middle class person, keep that money. They never say that, right? Because they'll never say that. They're not there for you. If you haven't figured that out after what amount of elections that you've elected people in, as I've said before, I'm kind of the political atheist. They're not there for you. That's why the majority of them are millionaires. They're not going to vote themselves out. They're not going to have term limits. They're not going to do the right thing. Look at what happened with Doge and all the corruption that was exposed, and yet nobody got in trouble? Like, nobody? That should tell you something, right? Hopefully you got this message. It's 8 minutes in. It's 3 minutes over. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I just am sharing what I'm thinking is going to happen. I could be completely wrong. Hopefully I am wrong, but I don't think so. Anyway, have a great day. Enjoy this thing called life. One more look at Fort Lauderdale downtown. Bye.